Welcome back to Virtual Reality Game Dev Ed. This is the 9th tutorial video for our friend Sky. She went ahead and let me go ahead and use her name. Okay. This is where we left off the last time. This is the model. It is basically finished. This is the model of our house we just made real quickly through the last 8 tutorial videos. However, it's really not at all ready to work with. We have the entire thing made out of one single plane. If we come here, we have one single mesh for this entire object, one single object, and that's not what we want at all. We actually want to separate this and break it down so we can work with it right and texture it and get everything right. Also, we can't hardly get inside because everything is, well, there's a roof and walls and whatnot, right? So the very first thing we are going to want to do here is go ahead and select I need to have faces selected, excuse me. Select the ceiling, or the roof, excuse me. This is the first part. Simple, very simple. Just go ahead and select all of your roof, and then I figured out what the search tool, the search button was the last time. All you have to do is press your space bar, and it comes right up. Okay, except we don't need that yet. What we need to do with this, the first thing we need to do with just our roof selected, press P on your keyboard. Now this is separate, and we want to separate that selection. Okay, now you see a second object just popped up over here. Go ahead and select that object. It pops us back out to edit mode automatically. Okay, well, before I get into this real quick, I have to make a couple notes. If you notice, I have downloaded the latest version of Blender. This is Blender 2.62 now, so I have to do some things like replace all of my add-ons and whatnot, and I'll get to that before I come back to the next video. But hopefully, I don't think I'll need them right now. Also, I lightened up my background a little bit so that way people can see it a little better. If you like this layout and want to use that theme, all you have to do is come under File to User Preferences, or this to User Preferences, and under Themes, this theme happens to be the Elysian. Elysian? I'm not sure how to say that word, but that's this theme. Okay. So, okay, back to the model. First thing you want to do again is name all your objects. You always want to have the object's name so you know what you're working with. This is obviously the roof. So go ahead and rename that to the roof. And then you want to come down here, and we see right now all of our objects are in this one layer. We actually want to put the roof in a different layer so we can work with it, so we can see, so we can get inside our house and whatnot. So we want to go ahead and just set it in this layer. Okay, now you see it disappeared, right? If we hold down shift and select the second layer, it brings it back. It's still there. However, we don't want it in the way right now. We actually want to select the ceilings next, so we need the roof out of our way. So we go ahead and put that in another layer. Okay, now select back to your house and go back to edit mode. Now the next thing we need to do is actually change our ceilings a little bit. Right click here in the middle to select this one ceiling that we put over in the middle here. Even though you can't see it from the top, this is a plane, so you won't be able to see through the back of it. It is there, so as long as it's in the same layer, if we just click on the top, it is going to select our ceiling for us. We actually want to delete this because that's not the kind of ceiling we want right there. We actually need to make a separate ceiling for our bathroom and the main room. So go ahead and click the delete button and delete that face. Okay. Then come down here and select your vertice mode and come inside. Select the corner vertice on the bathroom. Select the corner vertice. Oh, shift select that one. Shift select this and shift select that. Now we have all 4 vertices on the top of our bathroom. Go ahead and press F to create a new face, and it's facing the wrong way. So over here, you see the normals. Go ahead and flip the direction of that normal. Okay? Now we have that roof facing the right way. However, again, that ceiling is still part of our main object, and that's not what we want. We actually want it to be a separate object, just like we had the roof. So go ahead and, while it's still selected, click P and separate that selection. Okay, click on it and come back up to the top here and rename this ceiling bathroom. You can rename these anything you want. I'm just using simple names. That way I can remember what's going on. Enter, click out of that. And now we have the ceiling for our bathroom. Go ahead and set that in another layer. I'm going to go ahead and set this in this second layer next to my roof. Okay. Now, right click on this object again, go back into edit mode. And now since it's here, we might as well just go ahead and right click on one of these ceilings over here. We'll take those ceilings out of the way real quick. Press P and separate that selection. And let's call this one, this is my bedroom. So I'm going to name this ceiling bedroom. Enter, click out of that, and go ahead and set that in another layer. I'm going to actually leave all of the ceilings in the same layer, so I'm just going to set that in the second layer next to the roof again. So now if I go to that layer, I have actually both of those ceilings in the same layer. Okay. Go back to your main layer, right click on this again, and go back into edit mode. While faces is selected, go ahead and click this one and separate this object. Click P on your keyboard. Separate that selection and click on it to select it and rename that. This is my kitchen, so I want to rename this ceiling kitchen. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in the same layer as my other ceilings. And then go ahead and right click back on your building and go back into edit mode. Now we have to make a ceiling for the main room again. Now, what I've done so far is made a whole bunch of faces. I've made triangles, squares, and I've also made edges with the F button, which automatically makes a new face or edge. However, let me show you what happens if you select 5 vertices, as we have to here. Actually 6. If I were to select all of these vertices, is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6. If I were to select all 6 of these vertices and then click F, you see absolutely nothing happens. One problem is faces can only be tris and quads. That means 3-sided shapes or 4-sided shapes. So, in order to do this, we're going to have to actually just go ahead and select squares. Just go ahead and select that section of the house there and press F. Go ahead and flip that normal. if you need to. If you don't need to, wonderful. And then come down here, select these vertices on the top over in this section of the room, and make another one. Now select both. Hold down your shift and go back to faces mode. Hold down your shift and right click this, and so you have both of those faces selected. Now we have the right shape for the ceiling in our main room. Go ahead and press P and separate that selection. Click on it and come back up and rename this. I'm going to ceiling main room. Enter or click out of that, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the same layer as all my other ceilings. Now if I click on my ceiling layers, we see we have all of our ceilings nicely done right there. Okay, so we want to go back to our main layer. Go ahead and click on our main layer and right click on the building. Now we're going to do some fun stuff. One thing we see here is say we're in object mode. One thing you can see right through the house. All of our planes are facing inward at this point. However, we have things like in some of the rooms, like the bathroom, the plane's not facing inward at all. It's facing outward to the main room. You know, we have a bunch of problems with that. We actually want to make all of these, most of these, solid. Not the floor, but floor is something we're doing last, and that's why we named our main object floor. So we actually want to solidify a lot of these walls and make them solid objects. So how do we do that? Go back into edit mode, and first let's go ahead and do these inside walls on the bedroom. Make sure your faces mode is selected, and select all of these faces on one of I'm holding down shift and right clicking on one of the inside walls for this is my kitchen. And now this is where we need the search tool. The problem is there is no shortcut, as far as I know, for solidify. So in order to do that, press the space bar and just start typing solidify. It should pop up with SOL, right? And it'll automatically make the thickness 0.01, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And you see now both sides of that wall are solid. Okay, we want to go ahead and do the same thing that we just did over there to this. If you just right click on one of these faces, it will unselect the other ones. Hold down your shift and make sure you select all of these on this wall. Oop. Control Z, Control Z. I selected an extra face there. I don't want that triangle face back there. That's for my outside wall. Just get the ones on this inside wall here. And then go ahead and hit the space bar, and you see solidify automatically comes up. You can actually just hit enter or left click it, either way you want to do. I'm just going to hit enter, select it. Automatically comes up. This little menu right here shows you the details of the transform option or whatever option that you just selected. For this one, it gives you the thickness of solidify, so I'm going to make that 0.01 as well. Leave it default. Okay. Now I am about out of time for this video, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right there and pick up right where I left off. See you next time.